While in jail, I've gotten closer to Jesus. I pray every night. I read my Bible every night. I started looking at people more. I changed my way of thinking, wrote sincere apology letters, meditated more, found inner peace, take care of my grandma, preach the gospel, go to church every Sunday, do 3 community services, help the church out, attend therapy, get GED, and get my own place and get off paper.
People in the state of Michigan versus Lucas Paul Davidson, first file 267422, H time and date set for sentencing in that file. In the 7422 file, defendant entered a no contest plea to resisting obstructing a police officer, 2 counts, as well as the probation violation sentencing. Dated plea June 29th. Mr. Nate Lick prepared the pre-sentence report dated July 9, 2026. And actually, the pre-sentence report, I should say the probation violation report is dated July 6th. Mr. Morosky, you your client had the opportunity to review both reports.
Mr. Davidson and I did review both reports, Your Honor.
Any additions, deletions, corrections, or objections to either report?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection to storing the guidelines in the way this file?
No objection to storing the guidelines.
Mr. Davidson, do you agree with all that?
Sir.
Mr. Mahadi, any objection to the report as well as guidelines?
No objection from the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Morosky, anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before the court imposes sentence?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Davidson and I did review both PSIs. Your Honor, there is a mental health component here that Mr. Davidson has been dealing with mental health struggles. That's very well documented. Mr. Davidson has been hospitalized many times for, suicidal ideations. He has suffered from mental health conditions. Now, he continues to work on his mental health. He's worked with HBH, and it seems that his medications are now proper and he's being properly medicated. Mr. Davidson is deeply remorseful for what had occurred. He's had time to reflect on his actions and wants to be a productive member of society. Mr. Davidson is a young man who has dealt with past trauma regarding his childhood, and he wants to continue to work on that to become a better person. In regards to the file number 26307-422-FH, the guidelines here are 5 months to 34 months. The MDOC is recommending a sentence of 2 years, 3 months to 4 years, Your Honor, with 273 days served. In that file, we would ask for 1 year in the county jail and a term of probation, so Mr. Davidson can prove that he can be a productive member of society. In regards to the probation violation, it's directly related to the RO case that we're adjudicating now. We ask for a sentence, that he be discharged non-successfully from probation, and time served, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does your client wish to address the court in light of the no contest?
At this time, he does, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir. What would you like to tell them?
I take full responsibility for what I've done. I regret my wrongdoings while incarcerated. I've done a 180 while incarcerated. I've changed my behavior and thinking into something positive. I don't want it. Plan on going back to the old me. I'm eager to work on managing my emotions more effectively and learning how to cope with stress and frustration in healthier ways. I'm asking for an alternative sentencing like outside therapy or anger management classes. I don't take lightly the opportunity to request this alternative sentencing. We fully recognize the gravity of my past actions and the impact they had on others, and I'm sorry, I promise to do better. Also, I wrote a list of the things I've accomplished while being in jail. While in jail, I've gotten closer to Jesus. Sorry.
You need not apologize.
I pray every night. I read my Bible every night. I started looking at people more. I changed my way of thinking, wrote sincere apology letters, meditated more, found inner peace, rebuilt broken relationships, found self-worth, and learned patience and learned effective communication skills. And my goals when I get out, my plan when I get out is to get back on disability, pay fines and restitutions, take care of my grandma, preach the gospel, go to church every Sunday, do 3 community services, help the church out, attend therapy, get GED, and get my own place and get off paper. That's all I have, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Don't need to apologize. Mr. Tahani, anything on behalf of the people? This is a victim's rights case as well.
It is, Your Honor, and the defendant makes an argument here that's simply not supported by his actual behavior. If the court reads in the pre-sentence report, his behavior while an inmate in the Huron County Jail has been simply abysmal. The substance of some of those reports is truly disgusting, Your Honor, and to listen to the defendant stand here and tell you that he's turned his life around while incarcerated in the Huron County Jail, I think any of the corrections officers standing in this courtroom would beg to differ. The defendant has an extensive felonious history, and this extensive assaultive history is not accepted treatment from Huron Behavioral Health, to the point where at one point in this case, when they were supportive of assisting him in mental health treatment, they ultimately withdrew their services because he wouldn't cooperate. Your Honor, the only thing that's going to offer any sort of change for Mr. Davidson is a term of incarceration in the Michigan Department of Corrections. That's what the people are asking for at the top of the 34-month guideline. Perhaps the programs that are available for him in the DOC will be more effective than what's been offered to him locally.
One of the victims in this case is Lieutenant Newman.
I believe so, Your Honor.
Question regarding the probation file. Is he on the registry?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there is a mental health component to this, and the court has to consider that. And the court,
Your Honor, I don't mean to interrupt, Your Honor, but regarding Huron Behavioral Health, Mr. Davidson was cooperating with them, and then they ran out of services they could provide. It wasn't that Mr. Davidson ignored them or wasn't trying to work with them. He was trying to, work with them, but there was no more services that could be offered.
all right, thank you. All right, the guideline range in the newest file is 5 to 34. Obviously, the guidelines don't apply relative to the probation violation file, but the maximum is 2 years. And under People versus Milburn, 2/3 of the maximum is the only thing the court would impose. And so, to anyone who may be out there about, well, he didn't or she didn't get 2 years in prison on a 2-year offense, well, there's case law that prohibits the court from sentencing that high. You can go to a maximum of 2 years, but you can't give a 2-year sentence right out of the gate. And as to the probation violation file in this case, the defendant has served 665 days. And again, on a 2-year maximum. 2/3 of the maximum of 365 times 2 would be 486 days. So relative, if I have my math correct. So defendant is unsuccessfully discharged from probation relative to the probation violation file. He is to serve, or will order 13 months, 2 years. Credit for 665 days already served. All outstanding fines and monetary obligations remain collectible, which means that you're not going to prison on this file because you've already served beyond the maximum. So even though it's a prison term, with your credit, you won't have any further time to serve on this case. unsuccessfully discharged from probation. Regarding the police officer resisting obstructing 2 counts of habitual offender, third, as stated, the guideline range is 5 to 34 months. And the court does have to consider the mental health history. The court has done so. But the court had an opportunity to see the defendant with the prior 5. And when reading the pre-sentence report, certainly there are mental health aspects of this, but there's also the aspect of actual volitional behaviors of the defendant that indicate he's acting out, and not necessarily because of mental health issues. So considering that, the court finds that the recommendation is appropriate. It will be the sentence of this court that the defendant be committed to the Michigan Corrections Commission and placed in their custody for a period of 2 years and 3 months, 4 years, with credit for 273 days served, which is below the maximum guideline. Crime victims assessment of $130 to be ordered. Attorney fees are waived. $136 in state costs will be ordered. Due date on all those, Tash.
September 14th.
September 14, 2026, then the 20% fee will be imposed. It's my duty to inform the defendant he has right to seek leave to appeal if he's financially unable to provide counsel of his own choice. The court will assign counsel form of public expenses to initially receive questionnaire form requesting the assignment of counsel, both of which must be executed under oath and filed with the clerk of the court within 42 days. 7422, credit for 273 days. 270. Honey, what's the status of 7423?
I believe, Your Honor, the people will file a nolle pros pursuant to the plea agreement.
Very well. Good luck to you, Mr. Davidson. I wish you the best.